What is up, my peepholes? This is your guy, Cly, and it's time for a little DIY. Now, last week I made a video all about dipping a meeple in nail polish to achieve this really nice marbled effect. And I'd said something at the end of the video that got a few people excited, both in the comments section as well as on my social media, and that was that I was going to teach you a new chain technique. What I will be showing you this week is how to use the Byzantine weave to achieve such a lovely effect. Now, it's not proper chainmail, depending on who you ask, because it's not a mesh. Yes, it's chain, but the mail part of mail comes from the fact that mail is French for mesh. Beyond that, I'm not going to go into much detail because I do know that the Byzantine weave is not Byzantine in origin. That's about where I stopped. I decided not to go on too many tangents this week beyond what I already have. Now, I'm not going to teach you using this size link or this size link, both are the same, which, if you're wondering, that is 20 gauge enameled copper wrapped at a 1/8 of an inch internal diameter. Instead, I'm going to be showing you using these links. This is 16 gauge anodized aluminum wrapped at 3/8 of an inch. Doesn't sound like much of a difference, but when you see them side by side, it's night and day. And this one's easier to work on camera. I learned that the hard way during my 900 subscriber special where I made a chainmail play button. I'll go ahead and link it there. I like using cards. Now, I'm not going to go into the specifics of making your own links. I already did that on another video that I'm going to card right now, the DIY chainmail dice bag, though I will mention I used a new technique for making these links because I wanted them flush cut. I didn't use the bolt cutters I used on the galvanized steel. I instead used these nice little flush cut snips. Yes, you lose a little bit more material when using these than you would if you were to use a saw or a grinder, but the anodized aluminum did not like either of those techniques. The grinder left insane burrs that even if I had tumbled them off, I would have lost a good chunk of my colored anodized aluminum coating, and it was so soft that my jeweler's saw could not bite into it, and that ended up being a pointless endeavor. I'll make a video dedicated to actually using these to cut your own links in the near future. But for now, I am going to straighten up my area, zoom in the shot just a little bit, and get to work. Alright, I've got a selection of links at the ready, some of which are prepped, most of which are not, because I'm going to be using the one link at a time method. I'm not going to be doing any pseudo speed weaving because while it does look much faster on camera, I'm going to be approaching this the same way most beginners will. That way you'll have an idea as to what you're doing. But before I go on, I want to throw out a little bit of terminology for you. This is in no way, shape, or form official. This is just what I go by, and that way you'll know what I'm talking about. What you're going to be doing is making a couple of little bubbles around a central link. So my blue wire is going to be my bubble wire, and my yellow wire is going to be my central wire. I mainly bring this up because not everyone's going to be using the Vault-Tec colors like I am, and actually you could just be using everything exactly the same color. That way you can just separate it out by term. To get things started, I've already taken two of my bubble links and opened them. So what you're going to do is just take one of those, grab it in your pliers. You could do this with your fingers if you're using large enough links, but pliers are great for this. Nice fine manipulation. Take your two central links, followed by your two other bubble links. There we go. Bring in another set of pliers, or in the case of this aluminum, you could use fingers, and just close her up. There we go. I'll bring this up. You just want to make sure you've got two central links on one side and two bubble links on the other. Now, I'm going to want to take my other bubble link and thread it through all of my other links, though not the central link, or not central, but not the other bobble link you've already threaded through the center of all of them. Got to keep my terms straight. There we go. And now, if you grab it by the bobble links, you will end up with this little pattern right here. Specifically, this little pattern right here. It's just hanging on by a thread. Yep, there we go. Now, pinch your two central links, because these are actually going to be your end links, but I don't want to just go throwing more terms at you. Grab these two central links, take the two end bobble links, fold one to the left, one to the right. You're going to have a little butterfly right there. And then spread open the two that are pointing forward, like so. Now at this point, you'll probably want to have had some central links prepped, but I didn't think ahead. Fortunately, I'm dexterous enough that I can use pliers while still pinching. Open one up, and now you're basically going to thread the needle. You want to take this central link, bring it between these two bobble links that started off in the middle, and just hook like so, and then, if I can, there we go, like so again, and close. Here's hoping my autofocus is properly working. I can't tell through my viewfinder, which is why I'm going to do this several more times. And just grab another link. It's, of course, bringing along friends. There we go. And just slot this in right next to the other central link. This part's much easier. And we have our first bobble. What you're going to do to continue the pattern is just pinch like so, open yourself up a bobble link, thread it through the two central links as such, close it up, bring in another bobble link, like so, thread it through again, through the central links, like so, bring up the two that you just added, grab yourself, oh, I'll take this pair right here, two more of your bobble links are going to be added to this chain. So you bring one like that, keep pinching, and one like that. Perfect. Once again, one goes to the left, one goes to the right. Grab yourself a central link, bring it through like so. Once again, thread the needle. So one went to the left, one went to the right. You spread the two that were sticking out, and then run your central link through. I'll do this one more time just to hammer it home. Repetition is key. The good news is, while it does seem like this would be a little bit tedious, once you get your rhythm going, it actually becomes quite cathartic and a little bit meditative. I put together the whole chain right here while watching YouTube videos on my TV, and I actually overshot because I was just in a rhythm. I had to tear it back a little bit. So, once again, you pinch your central links as such. You take a bobble link, like so, thread it through both of your central links, give it a close, take another central, or bobble link, sorry, like such, thread it through the central links, like so, give it a close, pinch them forward, take another bobble link, thread it through the two bobble links you just added, like such. Grab another bobble link, add it on like that. Autofocus. One bobble link goes left, one bobble link goes right. Spread the two that are sticking out right. Did not mean to rhyme that, but it works. If that's how you remember it, that's how you remember it. Thread your central link through the two bubble links that are sticking forward, or I should say the two that you folded side by side, close, and if you're using two central links like I am, just do it one more time. Aeroplane in the background, yay! There we go. And that is pretty much all you need to know to do the Byzantine weave. I've got one more thing to show you, so I'm going to just set that up and I'll be right back. Okay, so you've made enough chain, but now you want a clasp. Admittedly, you could go with something traditional like a little spring clasp or a lobster clasp, but I honestly could not find one that I liked with this color combination. So I decided to make my own. What I did was take just a small length of my spare anodized aluminum wire, like so. One of the dowels that I used to make my much smaller chainmail links, I wrap it around the end right here. It's going to be a little bit tedious, I apologize. There we are. Just bring that part a little bit more so. I can now slide this off and give it a snip. Flush cutters, don't fail me now. There we go. That's good. Straighten it out just a little bit and then flex this into a little hook. I'll just use my fingertip for the bulk of that. There we are. Little bitty hook. To make things just a bit fancier / keep myself from getting cut up, I'm going to just flex the tip like so. Keep it rolling back. I said keep it rolling back. And there you have it. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. How is this going to hold if it's so flexible I can work it with my fingers? And you've got a very valid point. So, what you need to do is hammer it flat. I've got this little anvil-shaped object right here. No, it's not a real anvil. There's a very specific definition for a real anvil in the metalworking community. This doesn't meet it. It qualifies as an ASO, an anvil-shaped object. I've got myself a little ball-peen hammer here. I couldn't find my beating hammer, so I went out and bought this. I have never used it on anything but wire, so it doesn't have any marring here that will be transferred to whatever I'm hammering. You're going to want to make sure to do that if you are going to be making more than just one of these. And then just hammer it flat. This is where I'm glad I put it through a compressor. Specifically my audio through a compressor. Flip it around, and bring it back a little bit. Oh, let's just finish up right here in the center. And perfect. Now, while this is a bit flexible to the, in this axis right here, left and right, whatever you want to call it, X, Y, Z, depending on how you're oriented in space, it is a lot more rigid in the other axis. So it will have no problem staying put. Let me just close this all the way up. There we go. If you're afraid of this actually popping off, just keep in mind that the standard clasp is held on by a very tiny jump ring that in and of itself loves to just spring open with the slightest bit of pressure. So this is going to hold a lot better than that. To attach it, all you do is bring in one end of the chain, flex open this little guy right at the butt here, hook it through, like so, flex it back, and you are set. After that, all you need to do is bring the other end of your chain, hook the two links through like that. Oh, it loves fighting me. it's actually a lot easier to put on behind my neck than it is to do in front of the camera. There we go. This will hold. I've never had one of these clasps fail on me, though now that I've set it, the slightest breeze is going to make this one explode. The only issue I have left now is to figure out what pendant I want to put on my chain. I can either go with the Chainmail Vault 111 tag that I made a while back, the Vault Boy keyring that I've repurposed into a pendant, and admittedly he may be appearing in the thumbnail, or a work-in-progress vault door pendant that is giving me all kinds of trouble. I made this using a mold from a really poor quality Chinese knockoff, and while I've gotten better at painting, I learned the hard way that the nail polish and the spray clear coat don't get along. They become like a salt flat, just cracks and everything forming over there. So while it's probably not that visible on camera, it's irking me a little bit, so I'm going to probably get to work on another one. But that's all I really have to share with you. I'm going to go ahead and at the end of this video pop up a playlist for all of my chainmail projects that I've done thus far, ranging all the way back to my 900 subscriber special where I made the YouTube play button, a small dark period with a fidget spinner, sorry for that, but it did effectively pay for the rest of the videos. So, kinda sorry, not that sorry. And of course, the Chainmail dice bag, which has brought a lot of new subscribers. It's actually started a small chainmailing community around my channel, and I appreciate each and every one of you, as well as everyone else who has voted to watch any of my videos. All of that gushing aside, until next time, this is your guy, Cly, signing off.